Imagine the smallest of changes, like adjusting the direction of a plane by just 1 degree. At first, it seems insignificant, but over time, this tiny adjustment takes you to a completely different destination. This is the power of atomic habits, the foundation for transformation that begins with the smallest actions. Welcome to Atomic Habits, a guide to mastering the seemingly simple yet profoundly impactful power of small habits. James Clear, a leading expert in habit formation, shares how atomic changes, can snowball into remarkable results. It's not about massive overnight overhauls. It's about harnessing the power of compounding improvements. Success isn't the result of one big leap. It's the accumulation of small, consistent steps. If you've ever felt stuck, like your efforts to improve aren't paying off, this book is your roadmap to breaking through. Habits matter because they are the compound interest of self-improvement. Just as money multiplies through interest, the effects of your habits multiply as they repeat. Good habits build you up, while bad habits tear you down, often unnoticed until the effects are dramatic. In this book, you'll learn how to create systems that make good habits inevitable and bad habits impossible. James Clear introduces the 4 laws of behavior change. Make it obvious, make it attractive, make it easy, and make it satisfying. Each law is a step toward building habits that stick, and together they form the framework for lasting change. Whether your goal is to lose weight, improve relationships, or advance your career, Atomic Habits offers a practical, science-backed approach to success. Ready to take control of your habits and ultimately your future? Let's dive in and discover how tiny changes can lead to extraordinary results. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to improve effortlessly while others stay stuck in the same place? The answer lies in the surprising power of small, consistent actions, what James Clear calls atomic habits. These tiny changes might seem insignificant at first, but over time they create extraordinary transformations. Think about an ice cube sitting on a table in a cold room. The temperature rises slowly. 26 degrees, 27 degrees, 28 degrees. Nothing happens. Then, at 32 degrees, it begins to melt. That 1 degree change wasn't special on its own, but it was the tipping point. This is how habits work. Progress often feels invisible until you hit that critical point where everything shifts. Clear reminds us that goals are important, but they're not enough. Focusing solely on outcomes, like losing weight or earning a promotion, can be misleading. Instead, the real magic happens when you build systems. Systems are the repeatable actions you take daily that align with the person you want to become. Habits are those systems in action. Imagine you're on a plane leaving Los Angeles for New York. If the pilot shifts the nose of the plane by just a few degrees south, you'll end up in Washington, D.C. instead of New York. Tiny adjustments at the start can completely change the outcome. The same principle applies to habits. Small actions, when repeated over time, lead to massive changes in the trajectory of your life. The key is to focus on the process, not the results. Success isn't about doing one big thing, it's about showing up consistently, day after day. And while bad habits can seem harmless in the moment, they compound just as much as good ones. A single donut won't ruin your health, but repeated indulgence can. Likewise, a single workout won't make you fit, but consistent exercise will transform you. Habits are the compound interest of self-improvement. By committing to small, positive actions daily, you can unlock the power of compounding and create a life that aligns with your goals and values. Ready to harness the power of atomic habits? Let's move forward and explore how small changes can lead to extraordinary results. If you've ever struggled to break a bad habit or build a good one, you're not alone. But what if there was a formula to make habits work with you instead of against you? In Atomic Habits, James Clear introduces the 4 laws of behavior change, a simple framework that makes building good habits easier and breaking bad ones more manageable. Let's dive into these 4 laws. 1. Make it obvious. Have you ever walked into a kitchen and suddenly craved a snack just because you saw a bowl of cookies? That's the power of cues. Habits are triggered by cues in your environment, So if you want to build a good habit, start by making the cue impossible to miss. For example, if you want to drink more water, leave a water bottle on your desk. If you want to work out, set your gym clothes out the night before. Your environment shapes your behavior, so design it to work in your favor. 2. Make it attractive. We're naturally drawn to things that feel rewarding. To make a habit stick, pair it with something you enjoy. Clear calls this temptation bundling. For instance, if you want to exercise but dread it, pair it with your favorite podcast or playlist. By linking the habit to something positive, you make it more appealing. 3. Make it easy. Think about this. The fewer steps it takes to start a habit, the more likely you are to do it. Want to read more? Keep a book on your bedside table. Want to eat healthier? Prep your meals in advance. On the flip side, if you want to break a bad habit, do the opposite. Make it difficult. Hide the cookies at the back of the pantry or remove streaming apps from your phone. Reduce friction for good habits and increase it for bad ones. 4. Make it satisfying. We're wired to repeat actions that feel good. So, to lock in a habit, find ways to reward yourself. It doesn't have to be big. Something as simple as checking off a habit tracker or celebrating small wins can reinforce your progress. And when it comes to breaking bad habits, remove the reward. If late-night snacking is your weakness, avoid buying junk food so it's not easily accessible. These 4 laws, make it obvious, attractive, easy, and satisfying, aren't just about habits. They're about creating a system for success. Habits thrive in the right conditions, and this framework helps you design those conditions with intention. As we move forward, we'll explore how to put these laws into action, one habit at a time. Imagine a world where small actions compound over time to create extraordinary results. That's the essence of atomic habits, understanding how even the tiniest choices can lead to massive transformations. In Chapter 4, James Clear introduces us to the power of compounding habits. Just like compound interest grows your money over time, tiny, consistent improvements compound to shape who you are. Let's start with a story. Clear shares the tale of a British cycling team that transformed from underperformers to world champions. How? By focusing on tiny improvements in every area, marginal gains. They didn't overhaul their training program overnight. Instead, they made small changes like tweaking the riders' seats for better posture, testing different massage gels to improve recovery, and even painting the inside of their trucks white to spot dust and keep bikes clean. These micro-adjustments added up to monumental success. This concept applies to all areas of life. Imagine you improve by just 1% every day. It might not seem like much at first, but over a year you'll be 37 times better. The key isn't about huge leaps, it's about consistent progress. But here's the catch. The same principle applies in reverse. Small negative habits also compound over time. Skipping workouts, procrastinating on projects, or indulging in unhealthy snacks may seem harmless in the moment, but they accumulate, steering you further from your goals. The takeaway? Focus on small wins. Ask yourself, what's one tiny change I can make today? Maybe it's taking the stairs instead of the elevator, writing one sentence for a blog you've been procrastinating on, or simply flossing one tooth as a start. Habits are the compound interest of self-improvement. Every choice you make is a vote for the person you want to become. Over time, those small votes add up to a powerful transformation. What small action will you take today? Remember, it's not about being perfect. It's about showing up and getting just a little better every day. Starting a new habit can feel overwhelming. You might think you need willpower, motivation, or a perfect plan. But according to James Clear, there's a simpler and more effective way. Habit stacking and starting small. In Chapter 5 of Atomic Habits, Clear introduces us to a powerful concept, the 2-minute rule. The idea is simple. Any habit can be started in under 2 minutes. Why? Because the hardest part of building a habit is often just getting started. Think about it. If you want to become a runner, your first habit isn't running 5 miles. It's putting on your running shoes. If you want to write a novel, your first habit isn't finishing a chapter. It's opening your laptop. The 2-minute rule encourages you to focus on the first step of any habit and let momentum do the rest. Clear shares this key insight. A habit must be established before it can be improved. It's not about doing something perfectly, it's about showing up consistently. This is where habit stacking comes in. Habit stacking involves pairing a new habit with an existing one. For example, after brushing your teeth, do 10 push-ups. After pouring your morning coffee, write 1 sentence in your journal. After parking your car, take 3 deep breaths. By attaching a new habit to something you already do, you create a natural anchor, making it easier to remember and execute. Let's explore an example. Imagine you want to meditate daily. Instead of committing to 30 minutes right away, start with 2 minutes after you wake up. Over time, those 2 minutes can grow into a deeper practice. The key is to start small and build gradually. Remember, the goal isn't perfection, it's progress. Habits grow when you give yourself permission to start small. By focusing on tiny actions and habit stacking, you'll build momentum and transform your life one small step at a time. So, what's the first 2-minute habit you'll start today? Let us know in the comments, and stay tuned as we explore the next chapter of Atomic Habits. Have you ever wondered why some habits stick effortlessly while others feel like an uphill battle? The secret, as James Clear explains in Chapter 6 of Atomic Habits, isn't motivation. It's environment. Our environment has a profound influence on our behaviors, often shaping them without us even realizing it. Clear argues that when it comes to habits, the key isn't willpower. It's designing your surroundings to make good habits obvious and bad ones invisible. Let's start with a story. Clear shares the example of a hospital cafeteria where researchers tested a simple tweak. They placed water bottles at eye level in multiple locations, including beside soda machines. The result? Water sales skyrocketed and soda sales plummeted. The takeaway? People's choices are often driven by what's most visible and convenient. Now think about your own environment. Are your surroundings helping or hindering your goals? Here's a simple principle. Make good habits easier to see and bad habits harder to access. For example, want to eat healthier? Place a bowl of fresh fruit on the kitchen counter and hide the junk food in the pantry. Trying to read more? Keep a book on your bedside table or sofa. Want to stop scrolling endlessly on your phone? Charge it in another room during the evening. Clear emphasizes the importance of visual cues in habit formation. When something is obvious, you're more likely to act on it. Conversely, when temptation is out of sight, it's easier to avoid. But environment isn't just about physical spaces. It's also about people. Surround yourself with individuals who support your goals. If you want to get fit, join a fitness group. If you want to learn a new skill, spend time with people who are already doing it. Your social environment plays a critical role in shaping your habits. Here's a powerful takeaway. You don't have to be a victim of your environment. You can design it to work for you. Small changes to your surroundings can lead to massive improvements in your behavior. So what's one change you can make to your environment today to support your habits? Let us know in the comments and join us as we continue this journey through Atomic Habits. When it comes to breaking bad habits, most people think they need more willpower. But in Chapter 7 of Atomic Habits, James Clear reveals a surprising truth. Self-control isn't the answer. It's all about avoiding temptation in the first place. Clear explains that relying on willpower alone is a losing game. Our brains are wired to seek immediate gratification, so when temptation is constantly in front of us, it's only a matter of time before we give in. The secret to self-control is actually not needing it. And how do you achieve that? By designing your environment to eliminate temptations altogether. Here's a simple principle. If you don't see it, you won't crave it. For example, want to stop snacking on junk food? Don't keep chips and cookies in the house. Want to cut down on screen time? Leave your phone in another room during meals or work sessions. Trying to quit smoking? Avoid places and situations that trigger the urge to light up. Clear shares the story of the Vietnam War to illustrate this point. During the war, a shocking 20% of American soldiers were addicted to heroin. But when they returned home, 90% of those soldiers quit almost immediately. Why? The triggers and temptations were gone. Their environment had changed, making the habit easy to break. The key takeaway is this: bad habits are often the result of being in the wrong environment. If you design your surroundings to remove triggers, you won't need to rely on sheer willpower to resist. But what about good habits? The same principle applies in reverse. If you want to build positive habits, make them easy to access and irresistible. Lay out your gym clothes the night before if you want to work out in the morning. Keep a glass of water on your desk to stay hydrated. Place your guitar in the middle of the room if you want to practice daily. Clear's message is clear. Self-control is like a muscle. It gets tired over time. The less you rely on it, the better your chances of success. By shaping your environment, you can avoid temptation and focus your energy on the habits that truly matter. What's one temptation you can eliminate from your environment today? Share your thoughts in the comments, and stay tuned as we dive deeper into atomic habits. Building a habit is one thing, but making it last is a whole different challenge. In Chapter 8 of Atomic Habits, James Clear shares the key to making your habits stick for the long haul: consistency through repetition. Here's the first thing to understand. Habits form based on frequency, not time. It's not about how long you've been trying to build a habit. It's about how many times you've repeated it. The more often you perform a behavior, the stronger the neural pathways in your brain become, turning it into an automatic habit. Let's take a real-world example. Think about learning to drive. At first, every movement, steering, checking mirrors, signaling, required conscious effort. But over time and with repeated practice, those actions became second nature. That's the power of repetition. So, how can you use this principle to make your habits stick? Clear offers 3 strategies. 1. Focus on showing up. When building a habit, the most important step is simply starting. Instead of aiming for perfection, aim for consistency. Want to run a marathon? Start with a 5-minute jog. Want to write a book? Write 1 sentence a day. The key is to show up regularly, even if it's just a small effort. 2. Use habit tracking. Clear introduces the idea of habit tracking as a powerful tool to maintain consistency. Each time you complete your habit, mark it on a calendar or app. Seeing a visual streak of your progress can be incredibly motivating. The goal? Never break the chain. 3. Embrace the power of identity. The habits that stick the longest are those tied to your identity. Instead of saying, "I want to run," say, "I'm a runner." When your habits align with who you believe you are, they become part of your life. Clear also warns about the plateau of latent potential, a phase where it feels like your efforts aren't paying off. But stick with it. Habits compound over time, and the results will eventually become visible. Think of bamboo. It grows underground for years before shooting up dramatically. The takeaway? Consistency beats intensity. It's not about massive actions. It's about small, repeated ones. By showing up, tracking your progress, and aligning your habits with your identity, you can create behaviors that last a lifetime. What's one habit you want to make stick? Start small, stay consistent, and share your journey with us in the comments. Let's keep the momentum going as we explore more insights from Atomic Habits. We like to think of ourselves as independent, but the truth is, our habits are often shaped by the people around us. In Chapter 9 of Atomic Habits, James Clear explores the powerful role that family, friends, and social groups play in influencing our behavior. Here's the big idea. We imitate the habits of 3 groups of people. 1. The close, our family and friends. 2. The many, the larger social groups we identify with. 3. The powerful, those we admire or look up to. Let's dive into each group to see how they shape our habits. 1. The close. The impact of friends and family. Clear explains that we are deeply influenced by the people closest to us. If your friends love to exercise, chances are you'll be more active too. If your family prioritizes healthy eating, it becomes easier for you to make better food choices. On the flip side, unhealthy habits like smoking or overspending can spread through close relationships. The key takeaway? Surround yourself with people who embody the habits you want to build. Want to read more? Join a book club. Want to eat healthier? Spend time with friends who value nutrition. 2. The power of social norms. Humans are social creatures, and we instinctively follow the norms of the groups we belong to. If a behavior is common within your social circle, you're more likely to adopt it. This is why shared goals, like workplace wellness challenges or community cleanups, are so effective. They create a sense of belonging. CLEAR highlights the importance of joining groups where your desired behavior is the norm. For example, if you want to become a runner, join a running club. The shared identity and accountability of the group will keep you motivated. The influence of role models. We also look up to people we admire, whether it's a mentor, a celebrity, or a leader in our field. Role models show us what's possible and inspire us to aim higher. CLEAR advises choosing role models whose habits align with the person you want to become. What's the takeaway? Your social environment is a powerful force that can either propel you forward or hold you back. By surrounding yourself with positive influences and joining communities that support your goals, you can accelerate the formation of good habits. Practical tip: take a moment to audit your social circles. Are they helping or hindering your progress? Identify one small step you can take to align yourself with people or groups that inspire positive change. Building habits isn't just about individual effort. It's about leveraging the power of relationships. Let's explore how your social world impacts your goals. Drop a comment below and tell us, who inspires you to be better? Motivation can feel like an elusive spark, there when you don't need it, and missing when you do. In Chapter 11 of Atomic Habits, James Clear tackles one of the biggest challenges to building good habits: a lack of motivation and willpower. But here's the good news: success doesn't rely on motivation alone. Let's explore why. Why motivation isn't enough. Motivation is fleeting. It's high when we're excited about a new goal, but it inevitably fades as challenges arise. The key to lasting change lies in building habits that don't rely on willpower or inspiration. Instead, they should be automatic and easy to maintain, even on low-energy days. Step 1. Start small. CLEAR emphasizes the importance of scaling down your habits. When motivation is low, even the smallest effort can feel overwhelming. But starting small, really small, makes action easier. For example, want to start exercising? Commit to just 2 minutes a day. Struggling to write that report? Write a single sentence. These micro habits create momentum and help you build consistency. Step 2. Design your environment. Your surroundings play a huge role in your behavior. When motivation is low, a well-designed environment can guide your actions. Here's how. Keep healthy snacks visible and within reach. Place your workout clothes by your bed to encourage morning exercise. Remove distractions like your phone when working. By shaping your environment, you remove friction and make good habits easier to follow. Step 3. Master the 2-minute rule. The 2-minute rule is a game changer. The idea? Any habit should take less than 2 minutes to start. Instead of read 50 pages, start with read 1 page. Instead of write a book, start with write for 2 minutes. Once you begin, it's easier to keep going. Step 4. Focus on systems, not goals. Goals are important, but systems are what drive results. Instead of fixating on an outcome, like losing 10 pounds, focus on the daily habits that lead there, like eating nutritious meals and staying active. Systems create a framework for progress that doesn't depend on fleeting motivation. Step 5. Build a habit of showing up. The simple act of showing up can be transformative. Even on days when you don't feel like it, showing up reinforces your identity and commitment. For instance, write 1 sentence to reinforce your identity as a writer. Stretch for 2 minutes to reinforce your identity as someone who exercises. By focusing on consistency, you strengthen your habits over time. Bottom line, motivation is a bonus, not a requirement. The secret to overcoming a lack of willpower lies in starting small, designing your environment, and committing to showing up, even when it's hard. Habits thrive when they're simple, sustainable, and supported by systems. Reflection. What's one habit you can start today using the 2-minute rule? Remember, it's not about perfection, it's about progress. Motivation can feel like an elusive spark, there when you don't need it, and missing when you do. In Chapter 11 of Atomic Habits, James Clear tackles one of the biggest challenges to building good habits: a lack of motivation and willpower. But here's the good news: success doesn't rely on motivation alone. Let's explore why. Why motivation isn't enough. Motivation is fleeting. It's high when we're excited about a new goal, but it inevitably fades as challenges arise. The key to lasting change lies in building habits that don't rely on willpower or inspiration. Instead, they should be automatic and easy to maintain, even on low-energy days. Step 1. Start small. Clear emphasizes the importance of scaling down your habits. When motivation is low, even the smallest effort can feel overwhelming. But starting small, really small, makes action easier. For example, want to start exercising? Commit to just 2 minutes a day. Struggling to write that report? Write a single sentence. These micro habits create momentum and help you build consistency. Step 2. Design your environment. Your surroundings play a huge role in your behavior. When motivation is low, a well-designed environment can guide your actions. Here's how. Keep healthy snacks visible and within reach. Place your workout clothes by your bed to encourage morning exercise. Remove distractions like your phone when working. By shaping your environment, you remove friction and make good habits easier to follow. Step 3. Master the 2-minute rule. The 2-minute rule is a game changer. The idea? Any habit should take less than 2 minutes to start. Instead of read 50 pages, start with read 1 page. Instead of write a book, start with write for 2 minutes. Once you begin, it's easier to keep going. Step 4. Focus on systems, not goals. Goals are important, but systems are what drive results. Instead of fixating on an outcome, like losing 10 pounds, focus on the daily habits that lead there, like eating nutritious meals and staying active. Systems create a framework for progress that doesn't depend on fleeting motivation. Step 5. Build a habit of showing up. The simple act of showing up can be transformative. Even on days when you don't feel like it, showing up reinforces your identity and commitment. For instance, write 1 sentence to reinforce your identity as a writer. Stretch for 2 minutes to reinforce your identity as someone who exercises. By focusing on consistency, you strengthen your habits over time. Bottom line, motivation is a bonus, not a requirement. The secret to overcoming a lack of willpower lies in starting small, designing your environment, and committing to showing up, even when it's hard. Habits thrive when they're simple, sustainable, and supported by systems. Reflection. What's one habit you can start today using the 2-minute rule? Remember, it's not about perfection, it's about progress. Progress isn't always fast, but the key is to keep moving forward. In Chapter 12 of Atomic Habits, James Clear introduces a powerful idea. Success doesn't come from perfection, but from persistence. Let's explore how steady progress, no matter how small, can lead to lasting transformation. The power of consistency over perfection. Imagine you're climbing a steep hill. Some days your steps are big and confident. Other days they're small and cautious. What matters isn't the size of the steps. It's the direction you're heading. Clear emphasizes that small, consistent actions are far more impactful than sporadic bursts of effort. Even when progress feels slow, as long as you're not moving backward, you're winning. Step 1. Focus on the process, not the outcome. Rather than fixating on the end goal, concentrate on the daily habits that lead you there. For example, if you want to lose weight, focus on eating 1 healthy meal a day rather than obsessing over the number on the scale. If you're learning a new skill, dedicate 15 minutes daily rather than worrying about how long it will take to master it. Small wins build momentum and confidence over time. Step 2. Embrace setbacks as part of the journey. Clear reminds us that setbacks are inevitable, but they don't define us. What matters is how quickly we get back on track. Missed a workout? No problem. Just don't skip 2 in a row. Ate an unhealthy meal? Make your next one nutritious. By viewing setbacks as temporary, you maintain forward momentum. Step 3. The importance of reflection. Reflection helps you stay aligned with your goals. Take a moment to ask yourself, what worked well this week? Where did I struggle? What small adjustments can I make to improve next week? Reflection isn't about self-criticism. It's about learning and growing. Step 4. Track your progress. Clear suggests using visual cues like habit trackers to celebrate small wins. Seeing your streak grow, even if it's just one small success a day, reinforces your commitment and builds motivation to keep going. The bottom line, walk slowly but never backward, isn't just a mantra, it's a way of life. Progress doesn't have to be perfect, and setbacks don't have to derail you. Every small step forward counts, no matter how tiny it feels. Reflection. What's one habit you've been struggling to stick with? Commit to taking one small step today, no matter how slow, and watch how it transforms over time. Life follows the path of least resistance, and so do our habits. In Chapter 13 of Atomic Habits, James Clear explains how to make good habits easy and bad habits difficult. This principle, known as the law of least effort, is a game changer for creating lasting change. Why we naturally choose the easiest path. Human behavior often aligns with what requires the least amount of effort. It's why we take elevators instead of stairs, stream movies instead of driving to the theater, and opt for takeout over cooking. Clear argues that by designing our environments to reduce friction, we can effortlessly align with our goals. Step 1. Simplify your good habits. To make a habit stick, remove obstacles and make the process as simple as possible. For example, want to read more? Leave a book on your pillow or set it on your desk. Trying to exercise? Lay out your workout clothes the night before. Eating healthier? Pre-chop veggies and stock your kitchen with nutritious snacks. When the effort required is minimal, you're more likely to take action. Step 2. Increase friction for bad habits. Just as you want to lower the effort for good habits, increase it for bad ones. For instance, struggling with social media overuse? Delete the apps from your phone or set time limits. Eating too much junk food? Keep it out of the house or store it in a hard-to-reach spot. Watching too much TV? Unplug it or place the remote in another room. The more steps it takes to engage in a bad habit, the less appealing it becomes. Step 3. Leverage habit stacking. Combine easy actions with existing routines to build momentum. For example, while brushing your teeth, do a 1-minute stretch. As you wait for your coffee to brew, write down 3 goals for the day. When you finish a workout, immediately prepare a healthy post-exercise meal. Stacking habits ensures they naturally integrate into your life. The role of environment design. Clear emphasizes the power of designing your environment to support your goals. Your surroundings should nudge you toward good habits while discouraging bad ones. Consider organizing your workspace for focus, setting up automatic savings to encourage financial growth, keeping your phone in another room to promote better sleep. The bottom line, success doesn't require willpower when good habits are easy and bad ones are hard. By applying the law of least effort, you make progress inevitable. Reflection. What's one habit you can simplify today? Take action by either lowering the friction for something you want to do or increasing it for something you want to avoid. Procrastination is a universal challenge, but James Clear offers a deceptively simple strategy to overcome it in Chapter 14 of Atomic Habits, the 2-minute rule. This method helps you take the first step toward any goal by breaking it down into an action that takes less than 2 minutes. The power of starting small. Clear explains that most goals fail, not because they're impossible, but because getting started feels overwhelming. The 2-minute rule eliminates this obstacle by making the first step so easy that it's almost impossible to say no. How it works. The 2-minute rule is simple. Whatever habit you want to build, Scale it down to a version that takes no longer than 2 minutes. Want to read more? Start by reading 1 page. Want to run a marathon? Begin by tying your running shoes. Want to write a book? Commit to writing 1 sentence. These small steps might seem insignificant, but they create momentum. Once you've begun, it's much easier to keep going. Why this works? Clear emphasizes that habits are built on identity, not outcomes. By starting small, you cast a vote for the person you want to become. Reading 1 page a day makes you a reader. Writing 1 sentence makes you a writer. Tying your running shoes makes you an athlete in motion. From 2 minutes to transformation. The 2-minute rule is not about staying small forever. It's about creating a gateway to bigger actions. For example, reading 1 page can lead to reading an entire chapter. Tying your shoes can lead to a 20-minute run. Writing 1 sentence can lead to completing a paragraph. The key is to focus on consistency. By making a habit easy to start, you lower the barrier to entry and increase the likelihood of success. Practical applications of the 2-minute rule. Health. Instead of committing to a full workout, start by doing 2 push-ups. Productivity. Instead of organizing your entire workspace, start by clearing 1 section of your desk. Relationships. Instead of a long phone call, send a quick text to reconnect with someone. These small actions compound over time, leading to meaningful progress. Key takeaway. Progress begins with a single step. The 2-minute rule turns the overwhelming into the achievable, helping you overcome procrastination and build habits that last. Reflection. What's one habit you've been putting off? Try the 2-minute rule today. Just take that tiny first step and see where it leads. Chapter 15. How to make good habits inevitable and bad habits impossible. In Chapter 15 of Atomic Habits, James Clear dives into strategies that ensure you stick to good habits while making bad ones nearly impossible. The key is to design your environment in a way that works for you, not against you. Designing your environment for success. Clear explains that habits are not just about willpower. They're deeply influenced by the environment around us. By shaping your surroundings, you can make good habits easier and bad habits harder. Make good habits inevitable. Goal is to create a system where the path of least resistance leads to your desired behavior. Here are a few ways to do it. 1. Habit stacking with triggers. Link a new habit to an existing one. For instance, after I pour my morning coffee, I'll meditate for 1 minute. 2. Optimize your space. Arrange your environment to prompt good habits. If you want to play guitar more often, keep it on a stand in your living room instead of in a closet. 3. Use commitment devices. Set up rules or tools that make good habits automatic. For example, set up automatic transfers to a savings account to make saving money effortless. Make bad habits impossible. If you struggle to break bad habits, the trick is to make them inconvenient. Examples include increase friction. If you spend too much time on social media, delete the app or log out after every use to make it harder to access. Use technology to block temptation. Tools like website blockers can prevent you from visiting distracting sites. Change your environment. If you're trying to eat healthier, don't keep junk food in the house. The role of automation. Clear emphasizes the power of automation in habit formation. By using tools, systems, and technology, you can put many good habits on autopilot. For instance, schedule recurring workouts with a friend to make exercise non-negotiable. Set reminders or alarms for habits you're building. Examples in action. A man who wanted to learn Spanish put sticky notes with vocabulary words on household items to immerse himself in the language. A woman trying to cut back on TV unplugged her set after each use and stored the remote in another room. The power of inversion. The principle works both ways. By making bad habits harder to follow, you reduce the likelihood of indulging in them. For example, if you want to stop impulse shopping, delete saved payment methods from online stores. Key takeaway. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. By redesigning your environment, you make good habits inevitable and bad habits nearly impossible. Reflection. What small change can you make to your environment today that will help you build a better habit or eliminate a bad one. Try it, and watch how the simplicity of this strategy transforms your life. Chapter 16. The Truth About Talent. When Genes Matter and When They Don't. In Chapter 16 of Atomic Habits, James Clear tackles the often debated topic of talent versus effort. He explains that while talent plays a role in habit formation and success, it's not the sole determining factor. The key is to align your habits with your natural abilities to maximize your potential. Talent sets the starting line. Clear emphasizes that genetics and natural talent give individuals an initial advantage in certain areas. However, talent alone is not enough to guarantee long-term success. The most important: how to stay motivated in life and work. In Chapter 17 of Atomic Habits, James Clear explores a concept called the Goldilocks rule, a principle that explains how to stay motivated over the long term. The idea is simple. Humans experience peak motivation when they work on tasks that are just challenging enough, not too easy, not too hard. Sweet spot of motivation. Clear uses the analogy of Goldilocks and her search for the perfect porridge, neither too hot nor too cold. Similarly, when a task is within. Chapter 19. Conclusion. The secret to results that last. In the final chapter of Atomic Habits, James Clear ties everything together, offering a lasting message on how to create meaningful and enduring change in your life. The secret lies in the process, not the goal. Clear reiterates one of the book's central themes. Success is not about hitting a specific target. It's about building systems that keep you moving forward. Goals set a direction, but habits are what drive sustained progress. For example, aspiring to write a book is admirable, but establishing a habit of writing every day is what ensures you'll reach that goal. Small changes create big impact. The power of atomic habits lies in their compounding nature. Clear uses the analogy of compounding interest in finance. Small, consistent actions build momentum over time, leading to exponential results. This principle applies to every area of life, from health to relationships to career growth. Becoming the type of person you want to be at its core, habit formation is about identity. Clear reminds readers that the key to long-term change is to focus on becoming the type of person you want to be. Instead of obsessing over outcomes, shift your mindset to match your desired identity. For example, don't just aim to run a marathon, become a runner. Don't just aim to write a novel, become a writer. Don't just aim to save money, become a saver. The 4 Laws as a lifelong framework. Clear urges readers to revisit the 4 laws of behavior change. Make it obvious, make it attractive, make it easy, make it satisfying, as a guiding framework for shaping any habit. Whether you're starting a new habit or breaking an old one, these principles will serve as a reliable roadmap. Reflection on progress. Clear emphasizes the importance of reflection and review. Regularly assess your habits and progress, celebrating wins while adjusting what isn't working. Reflection ensures you stay aligned with your goals and identity. Habits are a lifestyle, not a chore. The final takeaway is that habits are not just tasks to check off a list. They're the building blocks of a fulfilling life. By integrating effective habits into your daily routine, you can unlock your potential and live with purpose. Key takeaway. True transformation doesn't happen overnight. It's a journey of small, consistent actions compounded over time. The secret to results that last is embracing habits as part of who you are, not just what you do. Final thought. Every action you take is a vote for the type of person you wish to become. Start small, stay consistent, and remember, your habits shape your destiny. Congratulations! You've just completed a journey through Atomic Habits by James Clear, one of the most impactful guides to building a better life through small, consistent changes. Think about it. Every action you take is shaping the person you're becoming. So why not make each one count? At TED.doodles, we believe in bringing ideas like this to life in ways that stick with you. It's all about turning powerful insights into visual experiences you'll remember and love. That's why our tagline is, "Doodles of content you already love." But the journey doesn't stop here. If Atomic Habits inspired you, imagine what you could gain from other transformative ideas. Check out our growing collection of doodle videos inspired by some of the greatest TED Talks and life-changing books. From mastering conversations to unlocking creativity, there's always something new to discover. Why stick with TED.doodles? Because our mission is simple: to break down big ideas into digestible, fun, and memorable visuals that you can apply to your life right now. Here's how you can keep the momentum going. 1. Watch more. Dive into our playlists for more insights on personal growth, leadership, and happiness. 2. Engage. Like this video, drop a comment, and share your favorite habit-building tips or what you loved most about Atomic Habits. 3. Subscribe. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you'll never miss our next doodle adventure. Remember, the small habits you build today will shape the future you want tomorrow. Thank you for being a part of the TED.doodles community, and we can't wait to see you back for more. Stay curious, stay inspired, and keep doodling your way to a better life. See you soon.